Along with many other folks from the DJ and music industry more widely, I recently headed to Anaheim for the 2026 NAMM show. And the truth is, it was the best one for years. Not necessarily because of the new products on display, although there were some gems, but because this year felt like the first true normal NAMM since the pandemic. Even in 2025, the wildfires in California cast a shadow over proceedings, but this time around, it felt like the NAMM of old, everyone hanging out together and good vibes all round. Before heading to Anaheim, however, I spent a couple of days in Los Angeles as we were hosting the launch event for the Rane SYSTEM ONE at the Beatport office. This very much set the tone for the rest of the week, during which the SYSTEM ONE was absolutely the star. By January 20th, the product had been fully revealed, but Rane kept the momentum going thanks to the fact they'd booked a big roster of dope DJs. Baby B, Andrew Hypes, RC3, Ease, Devin Hype, JFB and K-Swizz to spin at not only our event, but also on their NAMM booth, other booths, and basically at every party that took place in the evenings during the show. Speaking of other booths, Rane had a total of 20 SYSTEM ONE units seated around the show too. You saw them with case manufacturers, they had 4 on the 12-inch skins, innovator and cooler caps booth, even at the DAS audio marquee as you walked between the halls at NAMM. Frankly, this was all a big surprise because, let's be honest, Rane and the other in-music brands have not exactly excelled in their marketing efforts in the past few years, especially at NAMM. Rather than being on the main show floor in what I call DJ Corner, they have a large enclosed booth on the second floor, which allows them to really control their production quality, but can make them feel disconnected. This time around, even if you never made it to their booth, you certainly felt their presence. I spoke to Jake Hill from their marketing team on the final day of the show to get his thoughts on how things had gone.
Alright, so it's day 3 of NAMM. I'm backstage in the in-music booth. You can hear my voice is going. I'm with Jake from Rane.
Hello.
Who I think you must be quite happy with the reception that this device has got, the SYSTEM ONE, but also you're pretty tired at this point. Is that true?
Yeah, tired in a good way. My voice is wrecked as well. But a labor of love for sure. The Rane side of me, as a corporate Rane guy, is very pleased from a business standpoint, but the DJ side of me just had so many emotions this week, and I'm really grateful.
It's like, yeah, you've been part of the team looking after the DJs. Now, you guys have basically seeded DJs to every single thing that was going on. Yeah. So we did the launch event at the Beatport office on Tuesday. Then it was like Wednesday night. Was there something? No, Thursday night was...
Yeah,
I'm forgetting now. Heat Ultra Lounge, the Jetpack party. Then last night there was the DJcity Beatsource Club Killers party, and then Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, the Beat Junkies party. Yeah.
And you've been looking after artists, DJs in the in-music booth here as well. Yeah. Have you had many issues? Because this is a brand new product, right? It's just out the gate, just literally finished.
Yeah.
Has it generally been pretty smooth sailing?
Yeah, surprisingly so. The only issues we would have were minimal, general unfamiliar, being the DJs being not 100% familiar with the functionality, but for the most part, those are few and far between, maybe a couple times, and it was a quick fix.
I mean, the thing to kind of bear in mind, right, is that everyone has been playing off USB sticks or hard drives. No one's, this Serato support's not quite ready yet, so everyone's been on. And a lot of these DJs, I suspect most of these DJs, because they're all turntablists and everything, like they're not really familiar with playing off standalone, right? For a lot of them, it must be the first time.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like what we saw for media was completely different. Like Andrew Hypes had this huge, like the Lacey external drive, USB-C, he played off that. And then like K-Swizz had a little external drive with USB-C or USB-A. And then we had a couple of sticks and then some USB-C sticks. And yeah, so we were switching out media all night, and all the time we were running sound switching here the whole time off a dongle, and then I was recording onto my drive internally, so we had this media sources in and out of it all day, and it just worked.
Andrew Hypes was even using streaming music as well, right?
He was.
Yeah, so you've really taken advantage of all the stuff going on with the SYSTEM ONE. Has there been any real highlight performances from this week?
Yeah, I got a few. So I love having a job, of course, but I love the DJ stuff so much. And I think Mojaxx, we experienced it together when JFB was ripping the Ultra Lounge.
Yeah.
We got it's great. But
because it was so loud in there as well. Like that was a big system.
You couldn't help but literally feel it. Yeah. But there were a couple of moments that really stood out. And the first one was K-Swizz at the DJcity mixer on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Just brought I've seen his stuff. Like, obviously, I'm a fan. Mostly, I see his DMC stuff, and he did some live streams for us on product releases, but where he party rocked. But seeing him party rock and do what he does, it just blew my mind. And then the next one is when JFB did it on his routine on Thursday, and he just like in the room, and that got emotional. I'll probably get emotional now. So, but like he played his Midnight in a Perfect World routine.
Yes.
And I saw Chris Roman, our lead DJ product guy.
Legend in the DJ tech game,
We had the screen, JFB got to that point in the routine, and you could see the System One on the screen, and it became real. You saw the waveforms, you didn't see a laptop. And he just did that beautiful routine, and I look at Chris, he's getting misty-eyed, I'm getting misty-eyed, because it's like, we put our heart into this stuff, not because we're corporate goons, but because we just love this DJ stuff so much. That was a standout performance. And then, I mean, from there, we saw a lot of the same routines, but like seeing RC3, he decided at the Heat Ultra Lounge event, he's like, I want to go back to back with Baby B.
Yeah.
And those two just like
that
back to back, and that was another standout.
I mean, it was great to see that younger generation coming through. Like K-Swizz is not almost like the next generation beyond those, but like, Baby B and RC3, they're so young and so talented, and it just makes you think, DJing and turntablism, it's in good hands for the next generation.
And if you think about it, that's the first time they've DJed without a laptop. Us old heads, we've DJed without a laptop. But like, no, they haven't.
Interestingly, the company which seemed to be most impacted by Rane's dominance of the show this year was AlphaTheta. As ever, their booth was impressive, and they had some great performers, including Mixmaster Mike, who I was very disappointed to miss. But although they had two brand new products on show, the RMX Ignite and the DJM V5, neither of those really felt like NAMM products to me. The DJs who attend the show are mainly California residents with a leaning towards open format DJing and turntablism, so a 3-channel mixer designed for techno with no crossfader was never going to set that crowd alight compared to the System One. The RMX Ignite has more prospects as a tool for open format DJs, and one of the main artists demonstrating that in their set was Laidback Luke, who has switched back to playing on CDJs after only extolling the virtues of his Reloop Mixtour Pro setup to me at NAMM this time last year. I caught up with him after his set to find out why he's made that change.
So we're in 2026, Laidback Luke is here. And this time last year, we were stood over there. It was not raining last year, and you were telling me how much you were enjoying your Mixtour Pro and that life that you were leading, playing on that. But you've just performed on the AlphaTheta booth.
Yeah, right across from the Reloop booth.
Sorry. So what's happened here? Why are you back on CDJs?
Well, there's two reasons. I came off of an Asia tour last year in November, and I was playing a VIP club in Hong Kong. And people didn't really know who I was, and they kind of peeked over the DJ booth to see what like technical DJ stuff I was doing. And they peeked over and they saw a phone and a controller, and they were like, "Oh, that's cute, this little hobby DJ," you know. And then they walked along, and and I must say that really hurt me. It didn't hit me that badly before. Then the next day I was performing at Ultra Taiwan, and I bumped into Afrojack. And Afrojack said, "Hey, I've been such a big fan of your DJing for a long, long time, but what you're doing on that small box, I have no clue. And can you come back to see DJs?"
Wow.
And I was like, you know what?
So it was peer pressure, ultimately. That's what it is, right?
Yes,
That's peer pressure.
But you know, it's funny because I posted 2 videos, and Afrojack was in the comments immediately like, "Yay, he's back, this is going on." And so indeed, I'm back on CDJs, and it's interesting because it kind of feels like riding a bike, because I did that for such a long time on the DJ setup. The beauty is, after that Asia tour, I called AlphaTheta and I said, "Hey, listen, I want to come back," and they welcomed me back with open arms, and they said, "We might have something great for you," and I was like, "Wow." tell me what it is. Well, we're going to launch the new RMX at NAMM, and we want you to be the first professional showcasing it. And I was like, this is incredible, because the first RMX I launched.
Yeah, the 1000, right?
The 1000.
Yeah, you were a big part of that launch.
Yeah. So there's a video on YouTube, and we shot it in Amsterdam, and it's like a full circle moment, as if it was meant to be like this.
So I'm the whole peer pressure going back thing, I think it was pretty brave to move away from the CDJs in the first place, right? I mean, that was the whole thing. So I'm not going to diss you for going back to it.
Yeah.
But like it's in a way it's kind of sad that the DJ world is not accepting of other, because you were doing some very technical, cool stuff on the Mixtour.
And stems,
and stems and all of that, and using a phone and everything else. That's kind of that's really pushing things forward. But maybe the DJ world as a whole is not quite ready for that departure from the norm. Do you think if the DJ world generally was more open-minded, you might have not come back to it? I don't know.
Or valid point. And I also realized after that Asia tour, maybe I'm not the one to push it. Maybe I just need to wait for it to happen more organically. Because now I'm playing these high-end festivals and high-end clubs in Las Vegas, and I'm showing up with this little controller and phone, and right now it doesn't really make sense.
Is it not also a factor? I've never been on, big festival lineups or anything, but there must be a factor of you don't want to be that guy with the different setup who's like making the sound techs have to do extra work, and I mean, it was a fairly straightforward setup with the Mixtour, right? But like that must still be a factor of like you must feel like a bit of a being that guy. And it's like when I turn up and I'm on a lineup and I'm the turntable guy, and all of a sudden the sound engineer's got to get the turntables out and he has to think about isolation, and like everyone else is on CDJs and I'm just like, sorry, I'm that turntable guy. It must have been a bit like that, I guess, as well.
Sure, but it was really easy, but now it's way easier because I just show up with a USB and it's fine. And I've seen a whole lot of comments come by, what? No more Mixtour? What's going on? My answer here is not no more Mixtour. I will still be doing Mixtour stuff. Pop-up sets, tiny DJ sets. I'll still be doing it. It's my unit. I'm still proud of it. I still believe in it. But for the professional and the big stuff, I'm just on the big rig.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And are you digging the Ignite then, the RMX Ignite? It's very different from the old RMX, right?
Yeah, it is. And it's a beast. It makes so much noise. I just loaded up my own bank with the demo that I was doing here. That's very special. Love the big knobs on them. The beauty is now I'm on the inside of AlphaTheta. I can push on the inside towards more innovation. I had several talks already, and there's exciting things coming up.
Well, Laidback Luke, thank you as always for hanging out. I really appreciate it, and I always appreciate that every year you've got a new tech story. Like so many DJs, I would just, what are you using this year? Oh, the same as last year, the same as the year before, but with you, it's always different. Laidback Luke, thank you very much.
I appreciate that.
Aside from Rane and their full-on System One marketing blitz, there was one product which was revealed at the show which caught a lot of attention, the Hercules DJControl T10. I already gave you a first look video on it, but I was able to play with it a bit more subsequently. In many respects, it is just a blown-up T7. Not a bad thing, as I love that controller. It works with Serato software, runs only software effects, and features dedicated stems controls. It does have some extra features, a balanced booth output, a second USB port for easy switching, and will come with a great crossfader as standard. That was an upgrade on the T7. Unlike the T7 though, it has much larger 10-inch spinning platters, something a lot of turntablism focused DJs have been hoping to see for a long time. Those platters are still belt drive, which was initially a concern, but as with the T7, the platters are very lightweight, and I was genuinely shocked at how good they felt when cueing and scratching, and crucially, how quickly they got up to speed when you let them go. Hercules have clearly thought carefully about how to engineer these to work well. I do also love the LED illumination around the jogs too, which can be customized to different colors on each side. Lightweight is a theme across the whole product. One of the potential pitfalls with larger spinning platters is that it could make for a very heavy device. That's no problem with the T10 though, as it's very easy to carry around, being made from mostly plastic. That's also its Achilles heel, however, when it comes to pricing. The units at NAMM were prototypes, so nothing is quite set in stone yet, but Hercules were suggesting that the price could be up to $1,500. Most of the other people I spoke with agreed that that would be kind of pushing it, sadly. If Hercules can get that price closer to $1,000, it looks like a slam dunk. But you'd have to really want those larger platters in order to spend $1,500 on the plastic belt drive T10 with only software effects, as opposed to the all-metal direct drive hardware effects sporting Rane 1 Mark II for just $200 more. Either way, I'm excited to spend more time with the T10 when it finally hits production. Reloop had a few new bits again, which I gave you a first look at already. Of those, my favourite is the Flux Go. I was a massive fan of the original Flux, the first DVS interface we'd seen for Serato DJ Pro in a long time, but it was quite a pricey piece, and being 3-channel, not especially compact. As the Go name implies, the new 2-deck one is a lot more portable, and it's also more affordable at just $300 in the US. This makes it something of a bargain, as it unlocks Serato DJ Pro and Serato DVS, and that software alone without DVS is $250. It's not as solidly built as the original Flux, being made of plastic as opposed to aluminium, but it is tiny, so it can be easily transported and tucked away in a case or booth. Where there isn't any compromises when it comes to sound quality, as it has the same specs as the original, which sounds great, and being class compliant, it will also work with iOS as well as on Mac and Windows, making it perfect as an on-the-go interface for DJ Pro, Virtual DJ, and even Rekordbox, as well as Serato. The PTB2 is a tiny 2+1 channel mixer with a built-in USB audio interface, the likes of which we haven't really seen since the Akai AMX many years ago. It has 2 pairs of RCA inputs which can be switched between line, phono or DVS inputs. Those work with line level sources only. But yeah, it does DVS with any unlocked DJ software, basically everything except Serato. And the interface is again core audio compliant, so it will work with iOS too. It doesn't have an internal battery, but power comes in via USB, so the PTB2 can be connected by a USB brick, power bank, or a laptop or tablet. And there's a second USB port too to connect to your computer or mobile device. There are some compromises due to the small form factor, as you'd expect. It has no up faders for a start, but it has gains, EQs, and a crossfader with adjustable curve, which can be upgraded to an inner fader if you want. Overall, a fairly quirky little device, but one I'm looking forward to getting to know better. The final Reloop product is the RP5000 Mark IV, a mid-range turntable with a street price of around $500. Historically, I've not really been a fan of any turntable below, say, the RP7000, that super OEM level of quality. I just think if you're going to spend a big chunk of cash on decks, you may as well get a pair which will keep you happy for a lifetime. But Reloop seem to think this one might change my mind, so I will get hold of one and find out. I did venture out of DJ Corner to see if there was any production or other kit which would cross over to our world, and there were a few bits. I had an interesting conversation with the folks at Hosa Cables. They let slip that they're working on some DJ specific cables, which we will hopefully see this year. There are only really 3 brands in that space right now, OIA, DJ Tech Tools and UDG, so I'll be happy to see some more competition. On the Korg booth I came across the KAOSS Pad V or 5, which I'm actually considering picking up for myself. It's just an evolution of the existing KAOSS Pad line really, but priced at $650, it's half the price of the RMX Ignite. It has tons more effects, can be set up to just route the wet signal, so it will work on a regular send and return loop, and can both capture samples and has an SD card slot to allow you to load them into it. It also looks visually stunning, with the touch panel also acting as a colour display, showing you which effects are loaded. Whether I do cop one or just get a loaner in for review, you will see it on the channel again soon. In terms of PA, the biggest product news from the show for DJs was the new Evox J columns from RCF. These represent something of an industry first, as they are a true 3-way system, with a 12-inch low-frequency driver, a bunch of mid-range drivers, and a dedicated 1.75-inch high-frequency compression driver.
Hi, my name is Jim Reed. I'm the installation manager for the US for RCF USA. We're proud to launch a new speaker series this week at NAMM 2026. We have the new Evox J series. As of now, we are shipping 2 formats. We have the J9 and the J11. They have a lot of similarities, but one is definitely more higher performing than the other. Starting with the J9, we have a 12-inch low frequency sub at the bottom, and we have a mid and high frequency drivers up top. There are 6 3-inch mid-sized drivers, and we have a 1.75-inch high-frequency driver located in the center. There are 2 options for the J9, the standalone version that we're looking at here, and then there's also the J-Mix version, which has an embedded digital mixer, 8-channel, embedded in the back of the sub panel here, which could be controlled easily from the back or via an app. If we went to the big brother, the J11 shares a lot of the same components, but we just upped it in performance and power. Still has a 12-inch low frequency driver on the bottom, still has 3-inch mid-sized drivers, although this has 12 opposed to the 6 found in the J9. Of course, it still carries over the 1.75-inch high frequency driver located in the center. The J9 has a 2100 watt peak amplifier. The J11 has a 3500 watt peak amplifier in this system. Both available in black and white and available to order today.
Speaking as someone who's generally more of a fan of point source speakers than columns, that new high frequency driver is pretty exciting to me. I did hear some criticism that the new J series only comes with a 12-inch bass driver, which is fair, but you can add extra subs to the setup if you like, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a 15-inch model appearing later on. The other big new product from In Music at the show was the Akai MPC XL, which got almost as much attention as the System One. They brought out some great artists to showcase on that too, including Arab Music, who did an epic performance, but sadly I managed to accidentally stop recording on the camera, so you'll have to take my word for it. I've never really got my head around the MPC workflow personally, and so I'll leave the in-depth looks to more production-focused channels, but the XL seems like a hugely impressive version, with the multi-touch pad zones being a real highlight. I already talked about the new stuff from Reloop, but it's worth noting that this year also marked the first appearance at NAMM for the RP7, and that had a strong showing, with 45 sets on their booth from DJs like Robert Smith and Jazzy Jeff, who also did some awesome stuff elsewhere at the show with his playlist family. The RP7 also popped up on the booths of a few case manufacturers like Odyssey, who had these Pro-style cases for them, which are a lot lighter than Reloop's own cases. I brought a couple of those back with me to review, so look out for those soon. They also showed a coffin case for the RP7s and a mixer, which is built to be fairly lightweight too, and that's a theme for many cases this year. Full protection but with lighter weight. Pre-wired cases are starting to be more of a thing too, which makes sense as connections on high-end controllers are becoming more standardized. Definitely a welcome development.
So one of my favorite things to do at NAMM is find the stuff that's not necessarily even on a booth, you just come across it walking around. Now I've already seen on Instagram this product a little bit and I was already excited, so I was stoked to find you coming here. Right, so tell us who you are and what you're making.
All right, my name is Esteban. I created E.L Customs. I customize vinyl records. I as well was excited when I saw you here because I really wanted to show you this. I saw that you saw them on Instagram. So one of the things that I recently created is it's a vinyl record, you know, but this one right here is like no other vinyl record in the world, like on the globe, because this one actually illuminates. So when you put it on the turntable, it illuminates, and you can tell where you are with your cue line in pitch dark. So trial and error. I went through a lot of different designs. So far, this is the best one that I've got so far, and yeah, it's an illuminated vinyl record that illuminates when you put it on. We got different colors. This is a green one. I'm just gonna put it on top right here. So, oh wow, it's a green one. What time is it?
So where does the battery live then? Because this is like just the thickness of a regular record.
Yeah, there's no added dimension. The battery is actually inside. So everything, all of the electronics are embedded inside. I Dremel tool out a little channel here for the LED strip, and then all the electronics in there, the battery, the little connecting pins, and the couple wires that are in there to connect everything. That's one of the biggest challenges, is to keep it.
Yeah, keep that.
I want it to be, you look at this and you would never know.
Yeah.
You would never know until you put it on the platter that it lights up.
So this is prototype still right now?
Yes.
When do you think you might be getting to market with this?
It depends on how many connections I make. You know, I know technology's out there. I'm just a regular dude who loves music, playing in my basement. You know, I'm from Waukesha, Wisconsin, here in the United States. So I know there's connections out there, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to shake hands with people like you and, you know, take this to where it deserves to be.
So E.L Customs.
E.L Customs on
the Instagram, right? E.L Customs on Instagram. I'm following. You should follow too, because this is an exciting product. I can't wait to get these on my decks myself. So E.L Customs, keep it locked.
A few final notes from the show floor. Phase Pro was there again, having made its debut at NAMM 2025, but failing to ship yet. The Phase team seem to be confident that it will finally make its way out of the door this year, and I'm still really looking forward to getting my hands on the final version. There were a bunch of interesting bits on the Stop the Panic booth, which includes some collaborations between people like Sid from Slipknot and Jesse Dean. They had some super light faders and a prototype new modular 10-inch turntable, which looks very exciting. On the subject of low resistance faders, Inner Fader had their new ultralight mini on display, which should be available very soon. It's not the fader for me, I prefer a little more resistance, but it sounds like a lot of turntablists have been asking for it. And that brings me to the point where, as always, I shout out the two booths around which much of the DJ culture at NAMM revolves. Firstly, the 12-inch skins, cooler caps, Inner Fader, scratch attach and autophon booth, which, as well as hosting numerous battles, also allowed DJs to get hands-on with tons of cool customised kit. I did actually take some mini discs across the pond with me in the hope of spinning a set on Jared's Unicorn Sony MDS DRE1s, but time didn't allow. And secondly, the Beat Junkies and Jetpack booth, host to a series of incredible performances throughout the show. It's important to be aware that putting on these booths costs these small companies a tremendous amount of money, and it's very much a labour of love for them. Unlike, say, AlphaTheta, they aren't there to do loads of business meetings, they're just there for the culture, and so they get my undying respect. Speaking of culture, I am by nature not the most gregarious person, but this year I really made the effort to head out to every event taking place in the evenings that I could, and it was a very worthwhile experience. The DJ Social at the Heat Ultra Lounge, the NAMM Jam hosted by Snapback, the meet and greet at Dave & Buster's, and the after party at the Beat Junkies School on Sunday were all fantastic events, but I have to give a special shout out to the Mega Mixer at the Yoast Theatre on Friday, where Beatsource and DJcity came together with our new partners in the Beatsource DJ Exclusives program, Club Killers and Direct Music Service. We had many of the Rane roster of DJs performing on the System One, and it was wonderful to get a chance to hang out with the members of our new extended family. So overall, NAMM was great. As I said, the best one for many years. It feels like DJ culture is generally in a really good place heading into 2026. But as much as I hate to end this video on a down note, after I got home I came across some rather sad news. Native Instruments is now in preliminary insolvency proceedings in Germany. As I've said before, I'm no businessman, and I'm certainly not that au fait with how the German legal system works, but I'm pretty confident that we can say this is not a good thing. My first thoughts go out to those who work for the company. There are a lot of good people there who are just trying to make good products. And from my reading of the situation, this is very much about issues caused more by the finance world than those who actually create things. If you'd like to learn more, I suggest you start with Peter Kern's piece on the Create Digital Music site, which is where the story first broke. At this point, I'm going to try and be positive. After all, Traktor has been in the doldrums for a long time now, and, best case scenario, perhaps Native Instruments will end up being sold to an entity which really cares about their products instead of finance bros who don't. Either way, it's a story which I'll try and keep you abreast of as this year progresses. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Beatsource Tech. If you liked it, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss any future videos. And hey, if you haven't already, you can try Beatsource for free and join DJcity for just $10. All the links are down in the description. I'll see you next time.